snowy 2 days in Peterborough, New Hampshire. That's where I'm broadcasting from, just for the record, on March 14th, 2018, and we are tired of the snow. Type me a chat that says you're tired of the snow too, if you are. Arg. Emily says arg. I went over to Jaffrey today. Amy says, yes, I am. I went to a breakfast in Jaffrey today only to find out it had been canceled and the roads were not great. Joanne, I'm hoping you're hearing us and that you can find the chat box and type me a note. Oh, Joanne, I think I turned your microphone on. Can you hear me?
I can.
Yay.
Hey.
How are things in Minnesota?
They are sunny and bright and still in the 20s.
It's still in the 20s. All right. Yeah. Well, good to hear your voice.
Blue sky.
Blue sky.
Yes.
And cold. Yeah.
I'll take it.
Everybody else here, Joanne is student number 5, and more importantly, she's the person who taught me everything I know in terms of how to write.
Absolutely. I take full credit.
Full credit. My high school journalism teacher, if you can remember, if you can believe that, everybody. Isn't that astonishing? She was 4 when she was my teacher.
Well, 5. I think I maybe turned 5 that year.
You turned 5.
Yeah.
Emily is saying, send the blue skies our way. Joanne, have you found the chat box?
I have not. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Yes.
There you go. And you can see, can you all see messages from others? I think you're not seeing messages from others. Probably just yourself.
No, I can.
Oh, good. Okay, good, good.
Mm-hmm.
Becky says, I can. And here's our last. No, there should be 2 more. Oh, Gail is here. Gail has joined us. Gail, can you hear us? Can you hear me? We're going to give it a moment to get started here. Well, Gail is here. I'm going to turn you off, Joanne. Yeah. And I think all of your microphones should be off, except Gail, I would like you to find the chat box and type me a note. If you can see it, if you hover over the lower part of your screen, the chat box should come up. So as we proceed here, there will be 1 more person joining us, I presume. And you should, as we're going along, use the chat box to ask me questions. And at a certain point, I will open the mics up again, I think. A reminder that this is absolutely being recorded, and you will be sent this recording, which will include the video, my face, and the slides, for you to review from now till eternity if you want to. So I hope that's helpful to you. You don't have to take major notes as we go along. Gail, give us a shout out or try the chat box to tell us that you're here, that it's working for you. Gail, can you hear me? Speak out loud, Gail, if you can. Not hearing Gail. All right, we're going to get going, and 1 more person might join us here. Perhaps you could all now use the chat box to just give briefly what business you represent here. We've got your names and why you felt you wanted to take this advertising class, Facebook advertising, and then I'll keep going while you type that in. This is just a reminder, if you're nearby, so this does not apply to you, Joanne, we're putting on live workshop next week on video marketing, and that's going to be a beautiful downtown Peterborough at the Chamber of Commerce offices. So if you're interested in video marketing and haven't yet taken one of my workshops on that, this would be good for you. Next Thursday, I believe that is, on March 22nd at 6 p.m. And again, same thing offered in Hillsborough and the following, on April 25th. And I think we were just joined by the last person, Christy, it says. Christy, if you can hear us, type in the chat box or speak out loud. I think I've got your Microphone unmuted. It should be all of you now, however. Find the chat box and type me a note. Okay, so today's topics in 1 hour. We're going to speed through this, everybody. We're going to speed along and talk about Facebook's, all the paid options that Facebook offers you. And know that we're going to talk about where those ads appear, reasons you should consider using Facebook paid ads, and conducting a basic like campaign. And that's a campaign to get people to find your page and like it. Thanks for sending me your notes about what you're doing. We've got an online retail business and everything dog, a dog training service, Billy Pony Farm, rescuing Newfoundland ponies, an awesome place in Jaffrey. And Becky is with. Becky, tell us where you're with. Type it in there. Who you're with, I mean. All right, so continuing. Talking about reasons you should consider using the paid ads and conducting a like campaign for your page. Some of you have already talked about the boosted posts. We'll cover that briefly for those of you who haven't done it. And then some best practices in your ads, okay? So the number one rule, if you're gonna undertake Facebook advertising, and rest assured, I think everybody should, because I think it works so well, and I'm gonna give you all the reasons why. But number one, before you do anything, you better know who it is you're trying to reach with that ad. What does that mean? That means you have to know who your target market is. And if you don't yet know who your target market is, you better figure it out. Is it a youngster of 22, or is it somebody who's 65 and retired? Is it a groovy snowboarder? Is it a businesswoman or man? You better have a picture in your mind of who you're trying to reach in order to make these ads work, okay? So know exactly who you're kind of trying to reach. On Facebook, they start out with 9 delineators, 9 demographic points that you can give it to tell Facebook ads to be delivered to those people who meet your criteria, your demographic criteria. So the top ones, I believe, that you need to know is the age of your target market person, the marital status, and where they live, and especially where they live. The reason Facebook ads work so well is that they're highly targeted. If your business is in downtown Jaffrey, you can make sure that that Facebook ad reaches people who are in downtown Jaffrey and on Facebook, or within whatever radius you decide about Jaffrey. Or you can say, my business is statewide, deliver this ad to the entire state. Or my business is nationwide. I don't think that applies to anybody here. Deliver this to the entire nation. The more detail you know and therefore can give to Facebook's ad platform, the more effective that ad will be. All right. A bonus thing that you can program into the Facebook ads is interests. In other words, deliver an ad to a person that has a certain interest, whether it's soccer playing or golf or politics or religion. You can tell the ad, deliver it to people who've said they have an interest in those topics. Now that is limited by the fact that many of us don't fill out our Facebook profile fully. We don't get that much detail in our profile. Some people choose not to, some people just didn't realize they should. But if you feel like you want your ad just to be delivered to a certain demographic, you know that you can do that in Facebook. There are reasons to do that, to reach that target audience, and there's reasons not to be that specific. We'll get into that a little bit later. Christy, tell us where you're from. Are you from the dental office in Jaffrey? Is that right? Type that in the chat box. All right, so these are the delineators you can give your Facebook ad, and realize that the point is delivering that ad to people who are not fans of your page. That's why you're doing this, to get to people who are not fans of your Facebook page. On your Facebook page, you're telling people what you already want to tell them, right? But you want to reach people who are beyond your page. That's the beauty of these ads, okay? So, moving right along. the best reason you can have for undertaking, you should use Facebook ads when it's strategic for you to do so. Don't do it willy-nilly. Think of developing a marketing plan around your Facebook ad campaigns. And I'm going to give you some further reasons to do that, but just have a reason in your mind to use them. But here's an example of why they work so well. In this slide you're seeing on the right at the top, you're seeing fancy dress in an ad, and on the bottom you're seeing a couch. And those were ads delivered to me on the right-hand side of my personal Facebook presence. Over to the right, I was delivered these two ads shortly after, and I mean literally shortly after, minutes after, doing searches for, the top one was, I was looking for a fancy dress to wear to a wedding. And I did a search out on Google now, not within Facebook, for wedding dresses or fancy dresses. And at the bottom, I'm delivered this couch because I had recently done a search for love seats, and I did that search on Google. And because Facebook knows what I've searched for, that's why these ads are being delivered. Now that might be annoying and freaky to you to see that come up right after you've done an ad like that, or in a search like that. It's annoying to you until the ads being delivered to you are actually something you've been looking for. And then you go, wow, look right there. I can click through and find out about wedding dresses or couches. And that's why Facebook works. Facebook ads work. People do click on them when they are relevant. And we are going to talk about making your ads relevant. So more reasons to consider doing the ads. You're new to Facebook, and I know, Joanne, that's true of you. So that's it's going to be a way to boost up your number of fans or likers. When you're new to business, you've just created a new business and you're working on developing your online footprint, a Facebook page, and Facebook ads to tell people about that page is absolutely called for. Do it when you have a new service or product to offer people. If you've been in business a long time and you've suddenly switched course or added something that you're offering, make sure you use Facebook advertising to announce that. And you're holding an event. This is I would put this as number one reason to use a Facebook ad. If you're holding an event, think about advertising it with a Facebook ad, and we'll talk in detail about how to do that a little later. Use it anytime you're just trying to increase your visibility to a highly targeted audience. So if you've been plugging along doing business all at once, business as normal, and then you realize, oh, I really have to reach this particular demographic that I haven't been reaching, that's a great reason to start an ad campaign that's just targeted to that one new target audience that you've identified. And finally, do this when you don't want to spend a lot of money on other forms of advertising. With all due respect to my colleagues in the print media, newspaper advertising is going to cost you a lot of money for unknown return. I don't know if any of you have done actual print ads, and if you have, maybe type in the chat box what your experience has been. But just using the example of our local newspaper here, an ad that a person can see, a display ad, is going to cost you a minimum of something like $75 a week. And I'm here to tell you, you can get a lot of bang for $75 on Facebook, and generally won't need to spend that amount at all. Not anywhere near that to succeed at getting your ad noticed. You can spend as little as $1 a day and go pretty far, again, if you know the target market and where they are. Type me your experiences with print advertising if you can while I continue. Put that in the chat box. I would love to see what you have to say about print ads and whether you've used them or they've been effective. Yeah, Emily is saying not effective unless she spends a whole lot of money. And I'm assuming most of you out there don't have a whole lot of money to spend on print. A marginally successful platform on which to advertise. So some more reasons, okay? They're cheap. As I've just said, it's easy to reach a hyper-local audience, and you will know instantly if the ads are working, okay? Unlike traditional paid advertising, there's no way to know if it's working unless you've built an ad that's something like a coupon that people have to bring into your store. But otherwise, you have to take it on faith that that ad salesman at the newspaper has said to you, well, we have this target audience and this many people buy our paper. You don't know if they saw it in the paper. You don't know if the newspaper put it in the proper place for anybody to see. You don't know if they took that section of the paper and threw it away. Finally, you can create a Facebook ad on the fly. I mean, it really is quick. Once you've done a couple of them, you get really good at it, and they're easy to create. They're easy to change mid-campaign. So if, let's say, you did an ad that for some reason doesn't seem to be getting any traffic, you can see that data. Facebook delivers that data to you almost in real time. And you can say, well, I'm going to stop that ad, change up one or the other element in it, the graphic or the copy, and run it and rerun it and see if that has better results. And that's in fact what Facebook wants you to do. They encourage you to be experimental with this, and there are some ways that they have that built in for you to determine what is working best with your audiences. Amy is saying she does do print ads for specific events and they get good return on that. So that's good to know, Amy. So events, good for print, and I'm here to tell you events are very good in Facebook advertising. So just briefly, where do these ads appear? This is just a reminder to you of how they look to the audience, to the reader, the viewer on Facebook. They're going to appear, this is my personal Facebook page, screenshot of that over on the right. Okay, so here over on the right is sandals and promotional products. Again, those ads are being delivered to me specifically because of me and my online activity. So this must have been when I was searching for sandals online, and down below is something about marketing tchotchkes, and I was probably searching for some advertising promotional materials. So those ads were targeted to me on the right-hand side. You are all now, I promise you, seeing ads being delivered right down the middle of your news feed. So you're looking at dancing cats and you're looking at a post from your friend and there's an ad, and you're looking at a dancing cat and another post from your friend and there's an ad. You'll know you're looking at an ad when it's got the word sponsored on it. Can you this is a suggested post. Sorry, that was in the wrong place. That right underneath Outbrain here, it says sponsored. And that's an indication that that content there that says drive traffic, that's an ad. You're seeing all of those all the time. I guarantee it when you're looking at your newsfeed. Annoying, yes, but the price we pay for using this free online platform. Again, they're annoying to people until those ads are exactly what they were looking for, exactly what they wanted. And so that's your goal, to be there where the eyeballs are when people are looking at something else and you pop up and surprise them and go, oh, there's something else I wanted to know about. It's this ad. So ads will also appear in mobile news feeds. In other words, on the mobile screen, they'll scroll by as you're scrolling Facebook on your phone, and rest assured that most people are looking at Facebook on their phones. 80%, as you see there, of Facebook usage is on a phone. So those ads are being formatted correctly to show on that kind of a screen. Here's an example of one of those. This is for an actual restaurant in San Francisco, I believe it is. And if you've got a brick and mortar store, I don't know if that applies to any of you here, but know that Jasper's Market here in San Francisco put up this ad, and that the map next to it was automatically pre-formatted to show to the viewer and to show the address of that business, so that when people are driving around with their mobile phones in their cars, they're going, well, how do I get to Jasper's Market? Right here, they can click a button and get not just the ad, but the directions to that place. So a fabulous feature for the brick and mortar types of businesses out there. That map is automated, it comes with it. So just some very basics. Know that you have to be you, the person of you, to start creating ads. In other words, Facebook requires you to be a person, not the company, because you are creating the ad and they want to charge back to your credit card. That's pretty easy to manage, but just so you know that. Sorry. So know that Facebook ad does not have to just advertise something you've got on Facebook. It can advertise and lead the viewer to anything on the web by virtue of putting a URL, any web address into that ad. You can lead people to your own website, to a specific page on your website, or something totally off your website that you're trying to direct attention to. It could be another website owned by another business or an event. Anything that's on the web, you can grab the web address and put it into the ad that you're building. So here's what I was talking about just before we got started with a couple of you. Here on Facebook, you know, there's many of you put on events, and you know that there's a specific feature called event on Facebook, creating an event. And that's where you would open it up and build in an event that's happening next week, a fundraiser at this day and this time. Create that event, that's free, and will show to your Facebook audience for a while, and then it kind of gets pushed down out of sight unless you share it again or other people share it. But one way to make an event, a Facebook event, more visible continuously from the time you create the event until the event actually happens is to promote it. And that means to pay some money to deliver that same body of information about the event to beyond your Facebook page likers. So that's what this arrow is pointing to down at the lower left. It's pointing to the promote button. And if I were to click that, it would lead to the ad building area. And that ad building area that we're going to look at in a minute is this. It looks the same for promoting your event as it does for boosting a post and as it does for creating just a plain old ad from scratch. Okay, hope that makes sense. Remember, as we're going along here, type me your questions if you're confused, and then there'll be a spot here where we'll just take some questions, but feel free to do it anytime. So today's lesson, we're not going to do the event thing. We're going to just look at how to promote your page, the purpose of which would be to get more likers to your page if it's brand new, or all along the line. I recommend people run a Facebook like campaign, like my page campaign, about after you're got a little bit of business underway, you've been using Facebook a while, then maybe do that quarterly in order to continue to build up the number of likers. Okay, so know that at any time that you're on Facebook, you can see to the right, if you hit this down arrow that's in the upper right screen, this menu will come up. Sometimes it's automatically showing over on the left side of your screen. Know that Facebook makes it really easy to find the create an ad spot because that's what they want you to do. So it's just a matter of clicking the down arrow and finding this phrase, create ad, and you're halfway there, okay? It opens up to this first screen, okay? And here, Facebook is asking you, what is the point? What is the goal of this ad you're planning to create now? Is it awareness, consideration, or conversion? So 3 main goals that Facebook thinks you should have. And we're going to talk about one that falls under consideration, one that falls under the subhead, engagement, and that is bring more people to your page. But know that, and that's a pretty good reason to run an ad. It's a pretty popular type of ad. Some other ones for you to think about as I talk and to think about doing down the road is one, brand awareness, and that would just be build an ad whose sole purpose is to get the eyeballs to it, to tell people, show people, brand you, brand the name of your business. You're building an ad that's going to show your reputation and not necessarily have people buying something or clicking through, but just to be present. And that's all built around what's Facebook views. Views of the ad is what you'd be trying to get under brand awareness, or what Facebook calls CPM, cost per millions, which if you've ever done any online advertising through other platforms, Google and such, that's what that means. cost per million. You might be familiar with that term. Some other popular types are get goals. I mean, get traffic to a certain part of your website, or to your website in general, or something else on the web. Get people to that. That's what traffic here means as a goal. And then lead generation is a popular one for anybody who's selling actual tchotchkes or are needing to build an emailing list. So lead generation is a type of Facebook ad that will, if people successfully click on it, will open up a form for them to fill out to tell you to contact them. In other words, add them to your email address list, or add them to a contact list that they're asking. You're giving them permission to, they're giving you permission to contact them by filling out your lead generation form. I have only done that exactly once for my own business, and it was quite successful. Spending about $1 a day for a week, I got quite like 10 new email addresses, which for me is gold. An email address is still gold. So think about doing that lead generation if that applies to your business in any way. But today we're going to just briefly talk about an engagement type of ad, and that is one that is going to send people to your Facebook page in order to like it. So it's under the heading of engagement, and then you're choosing page likes as your goal on that. And clicking through. This would also be under engagement, where you would attempt to get event responses that I talked about before. Okay, so we're going to promote your page. If you're new to Facebook, this is a great thing to do, or do it at regular intervals. Okay, so regardless of what type of ad you're about to build, something like this is going to come up in the ad building area as the first item you get to after you've chosen your goal: engagement, consideration, whatever those first ones were. So here's we're gonna spend some time here on this page. Facebook first says to you, set your targeting. And remember, I said this is the most important item you need to do. Know who you're trying to reach. So what I did in building this fake ad is I said, this ad is being delivered to the entire United States, okay? And to all of the age groups I could possibly reach, which are 18 to 65 on Facebook, 65 plus, and to all genders. That's what I began to build this fake ad for. And look what it says over here on the upper right. Audience definition is too broad. It says your target market is too broad. And if it's too broad, that means it's going to have less of a chance of reaching anyone specific that you want to do business with. So it's a better option to be more specific. In this fake sample right here, I think I had told it that I'm going to spend $25 on this ad campaign. And for the $25, being targeted to the entire United States, ages 18 to 65 and all genders, Facebook is here over in the lower right telling me estimated number of people I would reach was between 1,600 and 4,200 on Facebook. That might sound like a lot, but if your audience is the entire United States, it's going to be hard to reach the actual person who might do business with you. So better to strive to have this audience definition arrow be straight up. And let's look at how it changes, the arrow changes when I change the demographics. So instead of the entire United States, I put in Peterborough, New Hampshire, where I live, and 25-mile radius. So a 25-mile radius of Peterborough, New Hampshire is where I want to reach people, and not just everybody. And this is actually true to my business. My audience is age 40 and above. It's people who don't yet feel confident in running Facebook. 40 and above, and most of my clients are women. So I am delivering this ad to people in or near Peterborough, New Hampshire, who are age 40 and above and who are women. And so look what, with that same budget, What happened to the needle? It got set into the middle, and it's now telling me I will reach 1,500 to 3,900 people daily with my $25 campaign budget. That's huge. That's huge for me if it works. And if I've built it right, it should work. So let's just examine here what reach means. Reach would mean here that your ad will be seen by 1,500 to 3,900 people. It doesn't mean it will be clicked on or that you will receive that many likers for this Like My Page ad, okay? It just means that many people will see it. Let's continue. So you can get more detailed on targeting. Like I said, there's a total of 9 details you can do by household income, relationship status, as I mentioned, education status, and like I said before, interests, and by other pages that they've liked. Those are some of the ways you can cut it down. But for now, let's just look at budgeting. So Facebook requires you to spend a minimum of $1 a day on any of your ads, but you can choose the duration in which, how long you're going to run that ad, how many days, and how you can set a daily budget. Or if I were to click on this arrow down here, it would come up with campaign budget, meaning spend per day or spend per campaign. You have a choice. So this is why when people ask me, how much does a Facebook ad cost? My answer is whatever you have to spend, okay? And that's not being facetious. That is how it works. You can tell it what you want to spend and then accept whatever results you get from that. So I do Facebook ads for my tiny church over in Rindge, New Hampshire. We have no people, we have no budget. And so we spend $1 a day when one of our events approaches, $1 a day for a week to deliver the ad to people we know will be near Rindge, New Hampshire, where the church is, to get them to come in our door for one of our events. $7 a week, and only the week prior to the event. And we know that we've reached people because I ask them when they come in the door, how did you hear about this event? And we know that it works. We know that we've brought people for a low price of $7. We brought people into our door at which they are attending a fundraising event for us, okay? So again, your daily budget can be absolutely what you want to spend. Your campaign budget can be absolutely what you want to spend. Let's say you program a campaign that just spends $10 for $1 a day for 10 days or $10 on one day. You will get results from that, I promise you. So type me any questions you have about budgeting or fear of budgeting as we go along here. So a page like, getting a page like is you are paying per, on this particular sample, you will pay for the privilege of getting somebody to click on the ad that will lead them to the Facebook page. Again, they have to take one more step to press the like button on your page. So you're paying for the privilege of getting people to click the ad, and with luck, they'll click the like button as well. In other words, your business is so of interest to them and your content so scintillating that they will click that like button on your page. Emily is saying she's had great success with $1 a day on ads. And Emily, has that been for events or for in general or for getting people to come like your page? Tell me there. Answer that in the chat box while I go on, if that's okay. Know that if you build an ad, and we're going to talk about graphics in a minute, but there's a place at which it says upload the graphic or photograph that you want to include with your ad. Know that if you do that and that graphic contains a lot of text, that Facebook is going to stop you or threaten to stop you from running the ad if it contains too much text. And like my experience has been that when they say this might not be approved because it's got too much text, that it often actually is approved even if it has too much text. But just know that that's something that is pre-programmed into that. And it's an idea that Facebook is trying to control the very spammy, buy now, save now, big sale type ads that are all big text. They want graphics instead. So know that that's something that might happen to you. All right, so we are still in the ad building stage for our Please Come Like Our Page demonstration here. So as far as images go, these are the three main types of images you can upload, or ads you can do. A single image ad, a single video ad, or a slideshow ad, okay? Let's look at the single image one. Know that you can create an ad that actually includes 6 images, delivering one image at a time, but you can program it with 6 different images. And Facebook will sort of run a test for you to see which of those images draws more attention than any others. So you can program it to have 6 different photos, and Facebook runs it for 24 hours. If you've got a campaign that runs longer than that, run it for 24 hours, and then after 24 hours, we'll turn off 5 of them and continue to deliver just the one that works the best. I find that fascinating, and I also found that it worked. I did that for a client of mine, and over a week's time, it really was successful, because I might know what visuals I want to include with my ad, but may not have picked the right one in terms of what catches a person's eyes, okay? The second one, a video, single video. You can upload a short video, and know that video ads are very, very effective. People click on them. And so if that's within your capabilities, I would consider doing a video ad. None of these cost any more or less than any others. It's just a matter of formatting and what you're trying to show. The last one, a slideshow option, would sort of have the same effect as a video. In other words, eye-catching as a video, and you can program it to show 10 different photos as a video in an ad in rotation. Okay. Any questions about that? Type them in the chat box. So that's just we're still building our ad. So we have chosen our demographics. We have chosen the type of ad, which was single image. The goal of this ad is to get people to like our page. We've built it, our demographics, it knows what we're doing, and now Facebook says, okay, it's done. Are you gonna place the order or what? At this point, you do get a chance to preview it and see what it looks like to the viewer, and then clicking continue here means you're sending it to Facebook. Facebook does approve all ads and will deliver back to you a message that says, we got your ad, it's pending approval. They will say approval will take within 12 hours or something like that. Don't believe it. They do it within minutes, usually for mine. What they are looking for in the whole approval thing is that thing that I mentioned before, too much text. But more importantly, they're looking for, are you selling something illegal? Do you have violent images? Do you have racist language, pornographic, swearing, all that? There is some way that they're automatically checking for that and will stop you if your ad is inappropriate for any reason. Other than that, I've never had any ad not be approved except one. And that was an ad that featured background music that I had accidentally picked up on a video. And Facebook was so smart, it knew that there was music back there. And did I have copyright to that music? No, I didn't. And so it said, we can't run this because you're stealing somebody else's music. But that's the only reason I ever had an ad rejected, and I never tried that again, okay? So when you've built your ad and given it a campaign budget, know that the details, I'm sorry, this is rather fuzzy, but the reporting from Facebook is very detailed and in real time. You will see any day, at any given day, how much you spent on that ad, what its reach was in terms of how many eyeballs actually saw the ad. And this top example in this list says 5,300, if you can read that fuzzy thing. It shows you what you paid to get that amount of eyeballs on your ad. It shows what you spent today. The records of every ad you've ever run will be kept within the Facebook Ad Manager section forever. what you're seeing here is a screenshot of my ad manager section from 3 years ago, and know that I've been using Facebook ads since they were invented, which I think is about 7 years. And every record of every ad and every ad I've ever created is still contained within my ad manager section. So there's good reporting. Never had trouble, never heard of people having trouble not getting reporting back or being charged inappropriately from Facebook in terms of ads. Okay, so that thing we just went through now would have built an ad that says, would have shown to the viewer, like the page for Villy Pony Farm, for example, come like it, and the goal would be to get a page like. Many of you probably, if you've done nothing else, and I think this was true of Amy, she said, I've only boosted posts, I haven't built ads from scratch. So know that boosted post is a particular type of paid advertising on Facebook, and it's one that happens that you can choose to do at any time, but it also is something that happens when Facebook suggests to you. So you put up a plain old post on Facebook saying something. Hey everybody, come to our fundraiser that's happening next week. And here's a picture of a cute pony. If you did an ad like that and suddenly everyone and their brother was liking it or commenting on it or sharing it, giving you the thumbs up, Facebook is recognizing that flurry of activity and is going to pop up with a message that says, hey, this post that you just did is performing way better than, they're going to give you a percentage, X% of everything else you've done on Facebook. You should probably boost this to deliver it to even more people. So it recognizes that you did something good in your post in terms of engagement. And what we mean by that is people are liking, commenting, and sharing, and that's what Facebook wants to happen. That's what you want to have happen. Facebook sees that has happened, and it means that you've done something right. Let's do more of that by delivering it beyond your usual target audience. So you should do boosted posts when Facebook suggests it to you. Maybe we're going to talk about exceptions in a minute. And you should use boosted posts when what you have to convey is more complex than a really short line of copy on an ad. In other words, a boosted post, can handle more words, more text than an actual Facebook regular ad can. So if what you have to say is somewhat complex and requires a bunch of words, shorter is always better. But if it really requires a bunch of words, considering making it a post and then boosting that post. So here's what it looks like when Facebook, one more. Here's what it looks like when Facebook suggests to you, this post is doing really well. And it pops up with a message, something like this on the lower left. We have, this post is performing better than 75% of other posts you've done. Promote it. And the button for you to promote it will be right there, making it easy for you to build an ad right out of that boosted post. In other words, take that post and then give it those demographic delineators. Do you want to deliver it to your town, beyond your town, your state, what age, all those things we did first off. And then it says, what's your budget to boost it? So do it when Facebook suggests you boost it, but only if that particular post meets some marketing objective of yours. In other words, you might do a post that was total fluff, that was just a one-off, that you didn't really intend to go viral, and it did. That happens a lot. This example on the screen here is one that I did for a network of assisted living facilities who were my clients. They posted about their wonderful licensed nurses that worked in their community or in their facilities, just with a thank you to those nurses. Now, this came back as very popular with a boost, Facebook suggesting we boost it, but while supporting their nurses and saying rah rah about their nurses is a good thing, it wasn't necessarily meeting their marketing objectives, which is to bring more people into their facility. So it was a good post, but not one that they wanted to spend money on because it wasn't meeting their overall objective of getting people in the door. The same with this one here that I did for our local hospital's fitness center, we had a picture of a lovely bouquet that our members brought in. Because we mentioned the bouquet and it was spring and people loved it, it got very popular, but it didn't meet the objective of getting more members in that fitness center, okay? So boosted posts are great. Do them sparingly, do them when they meet a need and meet your goals. So this is just a reminder, you can use Facebook ads to promote anything on the web at any time. You can lead people, use an ad to lead them to a website. So I want to stop here. I'm going to open we'll continue a little bit, but I want to open all of your mics and also encourage you to use the chat box to answer questions. But we have so few people here. I think if you speak up one at a time with a question, we'll all hear it and we'll answer. First off, Emily asked, can you boost an event? And I think in a slide much earlier, I showed you when you create an event, automatically a button comes up that says promote. And that is essentially the same as boosting. It just doesn't pop up automatically from Facebook. It's just giving you that option right there to promote it, and then walks you through those same steps to create the demographic delineators for that event. Does that make sense, Emily? You can all talk now, and I can hear you, I think. Yeah. Is that good, Emily?
Hello?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, that worked.
That worked? Can you say hi, everybody?
Hi.
Hi.
Gail?
Hi.
Yep, okay. Christy? Nothing from Christy. And Becky? Anyway, okay. No, we'll skip the talking, but if anybody's got questions here on what I just said, type them in the chat or speak out loud, depending upon what if your microphone is working. So I hope that made sense. The thing I want you to take away is, despite the fact that there are many and varied types of Facebook ads you can create, that they all work on the same principles of name your target audience, name your budget, name your geography, and then design your ad. It's basically the steps for each one, except the boosted post sort of just turns your actual regular old post into an ad. The same text you put into that post becomes the ad, okay? Is that clear to everybody? Hopefully.
Yep.
Joanne says, on daily posts, Facebook suggests boosting everyone. Is that your experience? Oh, yeah, I think they are getting more pushy about it, to boost every one of them, and I absolutely would not do that, Joanne. Do not do that.
Okay.
Okay. Really think about it, and I would only boost the ones that are performing very well and absolutely meet an objective that you have.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, makes sense.
And a further way you can look at whether boosting is a good idea. I hope you all understand and look at your Facebook insights every now and then. Insights are the data behind your page. When you click on insights at the top of your Facebook page, it shows you a list of every post, and it shows you the performance of every post. Maybe we should go there live, if you'll bear with me. I'm just going to pause the share here until I get to a new screen. I'm going to bring us to my Facebook page, I hope, live on the internet. Or not. There we go. Stand by. Y'all still out there?
Yes.
Yep.
Did your screen just change?
No.
No. Okay.
Still a wonderful classroom.
Okay.
There, yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Good. Now you've got, this is actually live on Facebook at this moment. This is the ad creation area called Ad Manager. Okay. So this is where you would pick the purpose of your ad and go from there. But for now, I wanted to show you the insights and what I mean. Stand by. Make sure my friends and family are behaving on my personal page. Yeah. My internet is slow at the moment. It's probably all the snow. Emily says she too notices that they want you to boost everything. So do not believe them. That's a trick on their part. Okay, do not do it. So up here, what I'm talking about is insights right here.
Okay.
Okay, everybody with me? The
Yeah.
insights, I pressed the word insights. Again, this is live. That's why it's going so slowly. So this is a snapshot of how my page is doing the most recent week, okay? And down below, you'll see events that I created and then paid money to boost the event, $7, boosted this post for $7, boosted this post for $10, okay? But here's what I'm talking about, Joanne and all of you. Here's the snapshot of all the posts I've done in reverse chronological order. And down these two columns here, reach and engagement, just take a glance at that and go, oh, this long orange bar means this one worked. That post of mine was working better than all the others. Up here, these bars, engagement, just know that the longer the better. And so these two posts of mine on March 13th and March 12th were doing better than other recent ones. So I might decide to go over here 3 days after the fact of these posts and hit boost post and then deliver it again to people beyond my Facebook page. Everybody clear on that? Your microphones are open if you've got one. So
Why would you boost something that was a past event?
So a good question. So it's a past post, I meant, but not a past event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thought it was,
I probably said past post.
maybe
so-
heard it.
Yeah. So this one here, which is getting good traction relative to anything else. Tomorrow, this was yesterday. I said tomorrow you can still take this webinar here. So if this was yesterday, I might want to boost that to get people to attend this webinar. This thing here, the March 12th one, is just a generic post that has no date. It's just something it was geeky, something about an app that I use in real life. It was popular for some reason. So because it was popular, maybe I should do it again because it's popular. And I could boost that to get more people to notice that I post things and perhaps then click through and actually become a new fan. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
you get Facebook nattering at you to boost things, but you yourself should go decide based on insights. Oh, this one's doing well. Maybe I should boost it if it still applies. I'm going to assume the marking is Amy's.
Yep. Sorry.
No worries. Amy's doing doggy daycare at her house. So I'm going to switch back to the presentation here and turn off. I'm going to mute Amy there. No offense, Amy. New share. I'm going to switch to a different screen. All right. Are you all seeing best practices now?
Yes.
Good. Okay. So again, continue to ask me questions in the chat box, and you do have your mics open. Emily says, I was taught that a 12% click-through rate is excellent. That's, you know, I haven't seen the definitive number on that, Emily, but that is a good rate in my opinion. Click-through rates can be low, and if that's to be expected. Just think about our own behavior when we're on Facebook. How often do we actually take the time to even click on something that a friend has recommended? It's got to be really good, really, really hitting home with us for us to take that second action. A 12% rate on an ad is probably pretty good. So I would not complain about that. Again, if your ad isn't working, if it isn't resonating with people, you're not spending a lot of money to find that out. And you'll be given a chance to redo the ad, set it for a different graphic, different copy, and see what works. And I think that's the beauty of this Facebook ads. It'd be really easy to change if it's not working. All right. You are going to continue to think of questions as we've got 7 more minutes left, and I'm going to go through best practices and come back to you for those questions at the end. Before I move on here, I want to mention one very, very new option that Facebook is offering that is not part of my presentation here because it's a little advanced, but I want you to know that I mentioned the one ad type that lets you put 6 different photos as options with one ad, and Facebook will test them automatically. There's also a new feature that lets, that builds what the marketers would call an A/B test for you. In other words, you can build your own ad from scratch, build 2 different ads from scratch, 2 different ads that have the same purpose with different copy and different photos, and Facebook will run a very detailed test for you, running both of them at the same time, and then deliver those same data back to you to show you which one did better than the other. It's a little different than that first option I mentioned, and it's a little more detailed, and I did that as well last week once, and the results are wonderful. Fascinating. I learned that a cartoon version of me doesn't work as well as a photo version of me in an ad that had me. So that's the kind of thing that you test. Does the brown pony work better than the white pony, Emily? Or does a picture of a person work better than a picture of a notepad? And that's the kind of thing you can determine by those tests, okay? All right. Your mics are still open, so shout it out if you're there, except for Amy's and your dogs. So some best practices in terms of images. Make sure that the image you do use is relevant to your product or service, and that's sort of, you know, it has long been a trick in the advertising trade to give you the picture of the bikini-clad female, even though that bikini-clad female may not have anything to do with you selling cars, right? That's as old as the hills. Facebook ads do not work very well if that's what you're trying to do, to trick somebody into clicking through. And Facebook might shut you off if you attempt that. Now, I often use pictures of funny animals on my ads to get people to notice them, but I think there's some leeway in there. Make sure that the graphic or photo you use for that is clear, very clear, at a very small size. And what I mean by that, when I'm looking at it on my phone, I'm going to be able to tell what the heck that is when it's this big, okay? So often, like if people run an ad that just says, come like my page, they'll use their logo as the ad graphic. That often doesn't work because the logo might be a line drawing that is very not eye-catching at a small size. So think of the small size whenever you pick your graphic, okay? The less text in your graphic, the better. I already talked about that. Facebook might reject you otherwise. Here's what we know about human behavior. A picture of a human face up close and smiling is the top type of photo that's going to resonate with people. Now, a cute cat probably achieves the same thing, but faces smiling are what we resonate with. So this is an ad, a potential ad, both sides for the same place. One is okay, you get the fact that there's a horse at the nursing home and people are outside enjoying the sunshine, but isn't the smiling woman on the right better? And what we know is that the one on the right is always going to do better than the one on the left. Emily, what are you saying here? There are people who work for companies that review and rate Facebook ads. What does you mean by that? Yeah, I think your mic's open, Emily. Nope, she's not there. I have not seen such a thing, but people that are reviewing Facebook ads, that's interesting.
I'm
I
actually
would-
doing it right now.
Say it again?
I'm actually doing it right now. While I'm
Oh,
talking.
so you've got a Google grant.
Well, that's something else.
Okay.
But there's jobs, anybody can sign up for them and you review them and you compare them.
Oh,
5 things, 1 to 5, and they regularly review Facebook ads.
so interesting. Private focus groups looking at your ads. I suppose that would be valuable. It might be more work than it's worth other than just running an ad and seeing how it does for a couple bucks. I don't know. I hope you'll report in on your experience with that, Emily, in the end. So know that in the ads that you do create from scratch, you can, there's always a choice to give it what's called a call to action, the button that says start now, or learn more, or read more, or download. You can build ads that have a button that is built into the graphic, and those are very effective types of ads. This too is it's under the type of ad called lead generation, but it gives you a myriad of pre-formatted buttons that you can include in your ads. Those are very effective. It could say call us, it could say sign up, meaning sign up for this event, or sign up for your e-news list. So consider that when you get to building ads from scratch. So let's say you've run a successful Facebook ad for a week. You know that people clicked on it and you got a few more likers from the ad. Anytime you've run a Facebook ad, you want to be sure that you have not proceeded to abandon your Facebook page and left it with old content. Make sure it's filled up with good content every day and don't skip anything, especially after running a Facebook ad. So Facebook ad posting rate in general on Facebook should be once a day, every day. Do it in the afternoon, most likely, for best effect. But absolutely positively do that right after concluding a Facebook ad campaign, because in theory, you've got more people noticing your ads at that point. I mean, your page at that point. Okay, so this is a review. I'm opening your mics, even Amy's. So if the dogs have anything to say, they can say something. But type in the chat or speak out loud your questions. But here's why Facebook ads will work for you. They're highly targeted, as we discussed. You will know if they're working. You will know immediately. You can stop them or change them midstream without spending more money. They're inexpensive. If you don't get any clicks or traction on it, put that ad on hold and then change one element of the ad, either the graphic or the text, and try it again. Trial and error is the name of the game here, and it is what works. So once again, any last conclusion? We are at 1 o'clock already. Time flies. I hope you found this valuable. I would love to hear more of your questions here, if you have any. A reminder that this has been recorded and you will be sent is Amy there?
Yep.
Yep, there we go. I got you on now. Questions, Amy? You said you had some specific ones.
Yeah. So I have a question, because a lot of what we're advertising for right now via Boosts are like specific events we have coming up. Like we run monthly free seminars. We have a series of classes that start up every 6 weeks. Am I better off sending those things out to people who like my page and their friends, or sort of people who aren't linked to us, or maybe a combination of both? Because people who like us, are sort of following us, they come to the different events, it's not sort of a one and done thing, right? It's not like we're getting them to buy one thing and then they're done and
Yes.
they won't return. So I'm sort of looking to get people to return, but also pull in new folks as well.
Yeah. What a great question, Amy. And for you, because I know your business and based on what you said, I think you would be best with a combination of ones that already know you and new ones.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you're building up a following, a bunch of folks who will come to several workshops that you offer that you should be
Yeah.
sure to alert them. You're
Yeah.
probably, I mean, it's kind of a judgment call on your part. If you're really getting good traction on your regular old posts on Facebook, theoretically, those are the people that are coming to your events as well. So maybe you're doing okay with them, and you could just target that ad to others, but it wouldn't hurt you to target both or change it up.
Okay.
Run an ad to one group once and the other group a second time.
Okay.
For you, definitely trial and error, but it makes sense for you to try to get those people to remind them, because you do have so many events as well.
Yeah, we do run a lot. Okay. And then can I ask a follow-up question?
Anybody?
Is we're preparing a little bit later this year to launch a series of online courses, which
Yay.
would obviously be open to anybody with internet access, right? Nationally and beyond.
Yep.
So I feel like those ads obviously are going to be a much different sort of track, in terms of just trying to get as many people hooked into that as we can. So do you have any advice for that type of advertising?
Yes. So I absolutely agree with you. An online course for people with dogs, that's a national audience, right? But
Yeah.
I think you're going to want to think about that and target it to some specific locations rather than the entire United States.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe that's the East Coast or the big cities of the East Coast, or pick the big cities that we all know about: Chicago, Los Angeles, New York.
Okay.
St. Paul.
St. Paul.
Okay.
And then, so the more specific, the better. And you might even run them one at a time.
Yeah.
But and I mean, that's it, and that'll be a great test too. You're going to see, oh, look, we've got all the dog lovers of Los Angeles to click through on our ad. That's a good sign.
Okay.
Or that they didn't. We did, if there's any way, I mean, this is where market research comes into play. If there's any way for you to determine where are the dog owners who need their dogs trained, where do they live, target it to whatever answer you have. I'm making this up that you can even know this, but my husband had a product that was nationwide, a book. And so where was he going to market the book? So he did a little research on where it was an ebook, where people bought ebooks, and he learned it was #1, Annapolis, Michigan. Why? So he targeted an ad there, and then he picked a couple of others, New York and Los Angeles, and just changed it up. So what he did ahead of time was decide, how much am I going to spend overall, and then within that overall budget, experimented with different locations.
Okay.
Whoa, did that answer that question?
Yeah, it does. It's helpful. Thank you.
Okay, so how do you do this as research by location? I mean, I've got my online dance shoe business. I would love to be more targeted.
Right. I was saying do market research outside of Facebook if it's knowable. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know that.
Yeah. And if it's not knowable out there, I mean, like he was able to know where the readers were
Okay.
from some report somebody did. But Joanne, for you, I would say try a few tests with some educated guesses as to where your past customers have come from, and target those areas
Okay.
for the future. Yeah.
Sure.
So it's a little bit of magic and a little bit of research. How about that?
A little bit of luck.
And a little bit of luck.
Okay.
Anybody?
All right.
Becky, have you found this helpful? Becky is a nonprofit New Hampshire Humanities Council. Have you ever done Facebook ads, Becky? I don't think her mic is open. No. Well, anyway, so any other questions here? Shout them out. This is your last chance. No? Everybody? So, yep. Oh, and there's Becky. Absolutely wonderful seminar. I have only done boosted ads. Okay, so now you've been inspired to do some ads from scratch and an ad for getting people to like your page. Think of doing that quarterly, okay? Emily says, can an ad be changed, edited when it is running? Yep, Emily, I would say you just put it on pause. If it's mid campaign, put it on pause, go in and change the elements and then unpause it. Yep, and that's what they want you to do, and it's pretty easy to do it that way. Absolutely. All right, in that same note, I have a webinar like this coming up on April 26th on graphics for dummies. If you are trying to figure out how to do graphics, fun memes, words on top of text, or cartoons or whatever, that webinar is for you. If you're on my mailing list, you'll be notified of that. It'll be just like this format, 1 hour of me and my screen with all you at home in your pajamas. Okay. All right, thank you, everybody. Look for the video of this recorded video to come to your inbox perhaps by tomorrow morning. Thank you, Amy and Emily and Becky and Joanne and Gail, if you're still out there. All right, and Christy, thanks for joining us. Talk to you later.